our age of advanced technology.
And I'm doing great today, Dr. Ed. What's up?
People are naturally attracted to those who are authentic.
I always knew I would do something big. I knew I was built to do something special.
It led over time to a pretty dark place.
As soon as my feet hit the ground in the morning, I've made a choice not to stop unless I'm asleep.
I'm a 22-year overnight success.
How do I find the freaking jack to get to the next level?
Setema, how you doing today?
Brother, I'm doing so well. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Man, I'm so excited for this conversation today. You've been like an integral part of my success, of my wife's success especially. They're from the start for us. And I think that the value that you're going to bring for listeners today, talking about your story, where you were, where you are now, the whole thing, the whole package, it's going to be incredible. So again, thank you for being on the show. But let's start with this. Setema, for those who are under a rock that don't know who you are, so tell us a little bit about who you are today and what you're doing.
You got it. First of all, I am a 5-star daddy and a 5-star husband. I love my wife. I love my 3 boys. I coach highly committed business owners, entrepreneurs, athletes, stay-at-home moms. Like from top to bottom, I coach people who are highly committed. So I do live events similar to how like a Tony Robbins would run a live event, but I do small group. I do group coaching and virtual, on webinars, go to meetings, go hangouts. Then I do one-on-one coaching where we get on the phone from all over the world and I just coach and I teach them and I speak on stages and I speak for companies and I am getting paid to live the life I've always wanted to live and to be me, what I felt was always my calling and my purpose. And then every day while I'm coaching, my boys get home, they come and walk in the door. If they see a headset on, they know I'm on the phone. They give me a kiss, they give me a hug every single day. I take my boys to school. I put them to sleep at night. We have a blast, and I'm loving my life.
I love this conversation where it's going already because I got to tell you, I just got off. I was telling you in our pre-chat, I just got off the phone with someone who was, working, like applying to work with me, and they have such a hard time seeing how this can actually manifest in their lives, how they can create like what you've created, start to work on, I'm still an infant in this process, but something like what I've done. In making an actual living, designing their life online. And before we go into that, I'm just going to loop back. I want you to share a little bit about your story, where you came from, and then we'll go into where you are now.
So I grew up in Utah, folks, from the islands of Samoa. My parents made the leap, right? They crossed the oceans and thousands upon thousands of miles to come to a new country. So I'm a first generation here in the United States. 9 kids in my family, lots of kids growing up. I did my college at university at Brigham Young University, BYU, played football. Following college, I went to the Patriots and I won a Super Bowl there. And I loved speaking, right? They would ask for speakers to go speak. And I was like, dude, that's me. Like, it's easy. Get up and tell stories. And after I retired from the NFL, I came home and I was broke real fast. Like I didn't know how to manage money. And I found myself in my mom's basement thinking, okay, I got a college degree and a Super Bowl. What do I really want to do with my life? And deep in my heart, like most people may not resonate with this, but the people who resonate, they're like, that's me. I always knew I would do something big. I knew I was built to do something special. I was supposed to make a difference. And, people say this, but I felt called. So I knew I couldn't be broke. I killed it in the mortgage real estate industry. We rolled big. And long story short, we lost when everyone else lost when that mortgage whole bubble burst. Bankrupt on food stamps, government assistance, sold my Super Bowl ring in 2010, or 2009, was bankrupt in 2010. And by 2011, I was like at the lowest of the lows. I went from massive success to different occasions and I had to get out. And I didn't know what to do. Like I was stuck. And someone invited me and recruited me to do door-to-door sales. So I went to knock doors and I started to sell. And over 3 summers, I crushed it. I learned how to sell. It was like, I owned it. We were traveling across. It was cold knocking on doors, selling security systems, putting people in this 5-year contract for $70 to $80. And like, it was real sales. It was like the best training. And then after 3 summers of this. I didn't want to do it. I actually learned to love it. But the voice inside of me said, now it's time. Like, now it's time to go do what you were called to do. And I needed that last job of knocking doors and the grind and the hustle and just like, oh, is this really what I'm supposed to do? So that was 2.5 years ago. I walked away from lots of money, a great position in the company, I had great sales teams, residual, stocks, the whole nine, and I left because I knew what I was leaving to do was truly my purpose, was my calling. And I knew that I would have to do it sometime, and I always wanted to do it. And here I am 2.5 years later, literally living the life that I love. I get paid to be me, to be a daddy, to be a husband, to help other people to do the same thing. So that's my story in a nutshell, from bankruptcy, selling everything, like depressed as like fucking depressed, holy balls. I was like, even at times I'm like, dude, is this even fucking worth it? Should I like just commit suicide? Like, no joke. And I have no shame in saying that, right? I say the story in a couple minutes, Ed, but man, it was hard, man. It was so hard. I was like, I remember just crying, a lot of tears. And my wife stuck by my side through the whole thing. And now we live in beautiful, sunny Southern California, and we're loving life, man.
And, you know, I got this term, and I actually, again, I've spoke to someone just recently, maybe even a client, about the voice. You talk about the voice. So the voice told you, 2.5 years ago to make that shift, and you jumped on it. You listen to the voice, don't you?
I do. What I've learned is the more you like tune yourself into it, and the more that you follow and create conditions every day that are favorable so you can be in tune. So we mean you're exercising, you're feeling good, you're taking care of your body, you're studying good works, you're surrounding yourself with greatness. That creates favorable, like the soil for seeds. And I've always known that the voice told me to go knock doors, and I didn't want to do it. I was like, hell no. And my wife was like, we're going to do this. I'm tired of being broke. And the voice said, go back the second summer. I said, I don't want to do this again. The third summer, I was like, I get it. I'm going. And then what was crazy is when I finally was like, I guess I'm going to be a door knocker the rest of my life because I'm kicking ass. The voice was like, you're done. And I walked. And it was a leap of faith. And even moving to California a year ago, the voice was like, it's time to level up where you live. It's time to grow, to be around different people. It's time. And every time the voice is spoken, like I get goosebumps talking about it. And I listen. Like the way it's prepared, and it's a trial of faith, my man. It is not easy. It's not like you just make the move and like money shows up. Like you got to travel sometimes in the darkness, and you got to figure some stuff out. But when you listen and you don't postpone it, you are always benefited and blessed, and you bless and help other people tremendously. So I listen to the voice, and when the voice doesn't speak, I make choices and I move.
Okay, 2 questions.
Yeah,
2-part question. Do you like being the boss? And number 2, why women? Why are you coaching in Shieldmate and women?
Great question. I love being the boss. I tried. The only time I've ever had a boss was at the NFL. Robert Kraft was my boss, right? It was as an NFL player getting a W-2. Every other time other than that, it's been like my business. Like I hunt, I kill, I eat. If I don't, I don't. So I love being the boss because like it's who I am. I love being able, like, we're going to hit Disney like tomorrow all day. I'm taking the full day. We're going to go to Disneyland. We're going to go to the beach on Saturday. Like I love living the life where I got space and I can create. Second question to answer is, why am I coaching women? I was coaching men for quite some time, and it started out as, hey, I'm not going to compete against my old partner, but something shifted. You understand, women have a love and a power in them that no man could ever have. No matter how loving or how great or how God-given gifts you have, women have something that men would never have. And what I see today is like my mother, I have my mom and my stepmom, they're both my moms, and my wife. And the love that they have shown me and the support they have shown me. Like, brother, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my wife. Like, my wife was like so strong when we were going through shit. The financial wilderness. And I didn't even believe in myself. My wife was there. Some people are like, why are you coaching women? Because guys still say, why don't you just go coach professional athletes? And I'm like, listen, women will be the last line of defense. Trust me. Like when shit's already falling apart in society today. Women, they are the last line of defense. They are the ones who raise us. They are the mothers who teach and raise either kings and queens and even when they're single. So I love coaching women because there's a special work for me to do, and I can reach women. And I love helping them to remember that they are divine queens and goddesses and leaders, mothers and wives, and not just like a mother who feels like, man, like this is as good as life is. Fuck that. If you are a woman who knows you are not normal and you have a special calling, right? Then I work with you. I help you to get shit straight, level up, become badass wife, badass queen, and help your husband to fucking remember, like my wife helped me to remember. And I help you to remember to live as a queen, as a leader. You're like the women I coach, they're not paupers, they're not bakers, they're not blacksmiths. They're fucking queens. They're badass, powerful leaders. And I love coaching them.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I mean, I'll give you a little props there. Is that a lot of props actually? Like my wife, Dr. K. I mean, man, I can't even tell you, like, again, that time travel experience that she's had, even just working with you over the last 6 months or so. Boy, it's incredible. Like, I don't even know where we're going to be in 30, 60, 90 days. It's insane. People ask me, where are you going? I don't know where I'm going. Things just move so fast for us. But no, I want to thank you for that. And let me ask you this then. I know life served up a lot of crazy shit for you, through like getting to where you are today. What if you had to say it was one specific challenge that you learned the most, learned the greatest lesson from? Was it a challenge of finances? Was it a challenge of mindset? Was it a relationship challenge? What was it that gave you the greatest lesson on this journey that you've been experiencing?
I would say it was when I was knocking doors. And then when I made the transition, I was knocking doors. We were so broke. My wife, I'll never forget. She calls me up in July of 2011. We're in Georgia, hot Georgia. I love those people. And she gets on the phone. She's emotional. She says, I just want to say thank you. Like, what's up, baby? She's like, thank you for working hard for us. It feels good to go to the store again and to not have to worry about what I can or cannot buy, and I can just buy whatever we want to buy. Brother, I cried that day and I never forgot because and it was in knocking doors and then making the transition that I learned so much about myself. Like, you don't learn about yourself when shit's easy. You learn about yourself when you are put to the grind, the press, it is hot, there's shit on the line, and you have to perform. Like, it's either perform or you starve. Like, you perform and your family's done. And I learned so much, being financially broke, it's taught me that I got a whole nother level. It taught me love and empathy for people who don't believe in themselves, because I didn't believe in myself for a few seasons there. And that shifted more than when I sold my ring, I still had this false, yeah, I'm the man, I can get out of this. I was brought to my knees and to humility in the doors. And I know that's what Setema needed to give me that final piece before I made the transition to, it's time to go find the people I'm supposed to coach and help them realize no matter where you are, no matter how bad it is, I've fucking been there. I have been there. And you can get out of it. You can step on the stones that try to bury you. You step on those and step up. So that's my experience, man. It was just knocking doors, grinding for 3 summers, just questioning, praying, asking, searching, looking. Changed my life.
Well, in this podcast, I mean, it's all about support. It's all about helping the inspired, the budding, entrepreneur to make that move into online space and know that it is actually possible, that it's someone like yourself who can go from bankruptcy, someone like myself who had such a, challenging health crisis, that I created what I created out of survival and necessity. But now we can help other people who are probably on that tipping point of going, hey man, should I give up? Should I quit? But that's my question really for you is, so Setema, you don't have to be a former Super Bowl champ to be successful, a successful entrepreneur.
Brother, there's a few things that you really need. Number one is just a hunger. There's got to be a drive and a desire and a hunger. I've hungered to be significant, to impact people. Not so people can say, look at Setema. I love how I feel when I see my clients, when I see elementary kids, high school athletes, people that I impact. I love that. It fills me up. It makes me feel good. So there's got to be a hunger to be the best at what you do and to live your purpose. The second thing is you've got to be humble or humility. You got to be one to be teachable. But every master was once a disaster. I heard it, and I know that we all start somewhere. So I had to humble myself. So I was hungry to do something. I was definitely humble and teachable and open, right, to do the work. And if you can get those two things, and then the third piece is called hustle, right? These are my three basic H's: hungry, humble, and hustle. Like, you got to be willing to just outwork everybody. And I mean outwork them. Be smarter. Look what the best are doing. Swipe it, tweak it, test it, try it. But just be willing to fall on your face. You don't got to be a Super Bowl champ. I've seen people who weren't even athletes, but they're crushing it. And their hunger and their drive pushes them. Their humility allows them to be open to possibility and to be coached. And then just that one to hustle. Like, I'll hustle. I'll work. I'll pull those late 24-hour straight drives to areas, pulling all-nighters, studying books. And then you get to a point where you're like, cool, I've kind of figured some things out. And then you hire people. But you just start with those three things, like be hungry, be humble, and then be one to hustle.
And execute. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you start to hustle and you're hustling, and then like you learn more information, get more stuff, you got to fucking execute. You got to do. You got to like follow through. You got to try it. And if you do that, brother, like everything begins to fall into place.
So I remember seeing this video of this guy sitting in his car, and he turned his iPhone on himself and he did this video. And then the next thing I know, he launches a six-figure launch from his iPhone. And so obviously this is you. So how did you actually, did you know in that moment when you created that video, did you know it was going to go that big just from the iPhone alone?
I had a thought that it would. But when I did that launch, I was coming from a place of, there was some fire in my belly. Like, there was fire there because I was like, shit, I got to produce. Like, I just like finished up a contract with one of my business partners, and it was December, and it was my wife's birthday, my son's birthday, our 10-year anniversary, and Christmas, all in this month. And where we live is not cheap. So when I picked up my phone, like my energy, like I call it coming from this place of power, or this stance, this inner powerful stance. I thought it would, and then I was like, "Look, I'm doing it. I'm gonna bang $250,000 from this." I didn't quite hit the goal. I did just shy of 200 with this cell phone in my hand here, sitting in my vehicle, and it was awesome. Like, I felt like it flowed through me. I reached the women I needed to reach. We got on calls. They joined, and for 4 months, we did the work. We helped them to dive deep, and like it's never been the same since then. So yeah, 6-figure launch with the iPhone in my car. It was fun.
I love this too, because, more and more I'm telling clients, or I'm seeing like entrepreneurs are doing this all the time, is like, look, you don't have to have 100,000 people on your list. You don't have to have millions of people listening to your podcast. You don't have to have all of these different ways of connecting. All you need is an iPhone, be able to capture a video of yourself and have the passion. And I love how you say, stay hungry, man, be hungry and watch it happen. So very inspiring. I love this. And I love too that, again, you heard the voice and you acted and you made it happen. One thing I want to ask, and I love this question too, is, Setema, if you could say there was one thing that drives you absolutely bonkers about, aspiring entrepreneurs, what would you say that it is?
They want something for nothing. Like that. Like, I could literally slap the shit out of people when I hear them say, well, that's too much money, or God, that's too hard. Dude, there is a price for every prize and promised land. And it drives me crazy when people are like, well, that's kind of hard. What the fuck? Of course it's hard. That's why few people are on the other side of the dip enjoying the spoils and the riches and the country clubs and travels. And like, very few people get that because most people aren't willing to pay a price. So the entitlement and attitude today, it's deadly, right? Something for nothing. The world owes me something. Someone should do something for me. It's old school for me. If it comes down to me and someone else, I'm going to out fucking work you. And when you're sleeping, I'm going to outwork you. And when you're not studying, I'm going to outwork you. And sometimes working means like you got to sleep, right? I get it. I rest. I'm not the guy that's grinding. No, I sleep. I have space. I meditate. Right now, today, right? This was in the beginning, I was grinding. But right now, I'm working about 30 hours a week, and I'm trying to keep that between 26 and 30. And that's it. Like, that's the lifestyle I love to live, right? I could go make tons and tons of money, but I love my wife. I love my kids. I love shooting hoops and swimming and going to the beach. And I love my clients. And I want to live what I preach, which is you can have the life you want to create if you're committed. But don't ever try to think that entitlement is something for nothing. Like, that's bullshit. Like, get rid of that right now. Just be willing to work for what you get and pay a price for the prize you want.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tremendous lesson to drop on listeners today is that, invest in train, constant training. This is a job, man. This is I work late nights, you work late nights, but I design the life that I want versus, being at the whim of someone else, not being the boss, not being in charge, which I would never go back again. And before we kind of wrap things up, I always like to ask this question too. And it's really, I call it like, who makes it rain? So, and I love to hear the answers that, successful entrepreneurs such as yourself give for this, because everyone has a little different twist on this. So here's the situation. Setema, you're in a room of these incredibly self-made, ultra mega entrepreneurs. Who makes it rain? Is it the guy or the person, I should say, who has the most leads? Is it the person that can make the most sales, like they close everyone? Or is it the person who has the best automation and systems? Which of those three people makes it rain?
It's a great question. Like, I'm going to go with whoever can make the leads come. Because to me, like, sales is simple. And I know some people are like, oh, it's hard. Like, I've done it all. Sales on the phone, sales up live, sales from the stage, sales door to door. But you can learn that, and you can find people to close. You can find people to build systems. But whoever can make the leads flow for any product, right? And I've learned this over and over, and I recognize this is true. If I can make it rain for whatever program, product, or service I have, whether it's network marketing, whether it's info marketing, whether it's a tangible product like a supplement, if I can make the leads rain, I will never go without. So whoever can make it rain, like whoever's the master marketer who gets messaging, positioning, packaging, dude, they control the game. Whoever makes it rain wins the game. And for me, it's all about leads, like really mastering lead gen. You got it.
I love it because the last two interviews I've had sales, and then I've also had automation, and now I'm getting leads, and I keep coming back. For me, it's all about leads. It's all about leads. It bothers me in the morning, like that. I wake up in the morning, and I maybe I don't do this as much, Setema, and maybe you resonate with this. I don't go, where's my next lead coming from? I don't do that anymore. And then everything else seems to flow after that. So, before we kind of wrap this up for you today, I would love to help listeners that are feeling the pull. They want to reach out. They want to hear more about what you're doing. I know you got a podcast out there, but how can listeners find you? How can they learn more?
The best way to find me is just to type in my name, Setema Gali, SETEMAGALI.com. And from there, it's going to lead you to my book, to my trainings, to my live events, to my coaching one-on-one, to my podcast. You can get on my list. I'm building that out. It's come a long ways. Like a year ago, it was like some little popcorn, like put a quarter in it, turn the dial. Now it's like turning into something robust. So that's the best place, right? SetemaGali.com, SETEMAGALI.com. Best place to find me and learn more about what I do.
Outstanding. And so listeners, you can head over to thelaptoplifestylepodcast.com. You can actually find a webpage dedicated to our discussion with Setema Gali today. And we'll have clickable links to all of the resources, including his podcast, his website, everything that you need to actually find him. And again, any of the resources that we've shared today. Setema, brought it, incredible value. Again, I was so thrilled to hear that you would be on the podcast. You've been a huge mentor to myself and my wife and part of our success. And I want to thank you for that. And thank you for being on the show today.
Brother, love and honor you big time. Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
Hey, I want to thank you for listening today. And if you're new to the podcast, head over to thelaptoplifestylepodcast.com and hear more from 6, 7, and 8-figure online entrepreneurs. Even better, head over to iTunes, give us a rating and review, and that will help us help more aspiring online entrepreneurs. Appreciate you and see you on the next Laptop Lifestyle podcast.